lovelies. So we're finally doing a video all together. So these are my kids. This is Marilyn. Say hi. And this is Joseph. Marilyn is 2 years old and Joseph is 1 year old. He barely turned one in January the 1st. So say hi. He's saying hi. Um, so this video is mainly going to be about meet my kids, and it's also going to be a Q&A since a lot of you guys ask me a lot of questions. So I'll be getting the questions off of my Instagram since I asked you guys to ask me some questions. And so yeah, let's get started. So first question. Sit down. Sit down, sit down. First question is, who's a little brat? Your daughter or son? LOL. What do you like to do in your free time? Well, actually, they are both brats, to be honest. Marilyn, she just gets a little cranky when Joseph takes her toys and she wants to play with them, or when he takes her food. So, Joseph. So, I mean, they're mainly both brats, and he gets mad when Marilyn takes his food. They just argue over food most of the time because toys, he has his own toys and she has her own girly toys. So, yeah. And what I like to do in my free time, I like to go shopping with friends. I like to hang out with friends. I like to, just have some free time to myself. I like to do my makeup. I just like to work on those kind of things. Second question is, does the father of your kids help you? And yes, we're together. We are in a relationship, and he helps me a lot with the kids. We help each other out a lot. So yeah, he helps me out. When you had your little girl, what was your first thought? When I had my little girl, I was happy. I was very happy because she was my first baby, and ever since I was a young girl, I always wanted a daughter for my first child, so I was so happy. When you had your first daughter, was it hard to deal with? Honestly, it was very hard to deal with because I was only 14 years old, so I wasn't really used to taking care of a baby all by myself. I used to help my family take care of their sons, take care of their daughters. I used to help take care of my cousins, but I thought it was going to be the same thing, and trust me, it is not the same thing because these kids are my kids. I can't just, get tired of them and give them back to their mom because I am their mom. So when I get really stressed out and frustrated, I have to deal with it. So it was definitely really hard to deal with. My sister would help me out at night to take care of Marilyn, but it was still, to be honest, it was difficult because I wasn't used to waking up in the middle of the night every 2 hours. I wasn't used to changing pampers every day. I just wasn't used to, the mom life. So with it being at a young age, it was definitely very hard. What was the hardest part for you right now with each child? The hardest part with being a mom with each child is when one is sick and then the other gets sick too. So when one's sick, they both get sick, and I try to keep them away from each other when they're both sick, but I mean, they always both get sick at the same time, and that's when it's really hard on me because I have to, be after both of them, and sometimes I can't. So it's tremendously hard. That is that's the hardest part of being a mom right now. Which one is older? Marilyn is older. Are you and your baby daddy still together? Yes, we are together. What's the hardest and the best part about being a mom? The hardest part also is when it's because I do go to school, so sometimes when my mom can't take care of my kids, I really can't find anyone else to take care of my kids, so I have to stay home and I have to miss school and I have to miss, doing work that I have to get done. So that's mainly the hard part about being a mom right now. Baby, stay still. Which baby was a more difficult labor? I feel like Joseph was the most difficult labor because I didn't get the epidural, so I was in pain my whole labor. So she was the hardest labor. Um, how did everyone react to baby number two? Everyone was, to be honest, everyone was really surprised. My mom, she was shocked. So she cried. It was really hard on her because I was still young. I was 15 or 16 when I got pregnant of him. So she cried. My sister was just, she was upset. Mainly everyone was upset. Um, how much did it hurt in a scale from 1 to 10 giving birth to each one? Marilyn, it didn't hurt because I got the epidural with her, so it was a 0. With him, it was definitely a 15 because it hurt me a lot and I ripped a little bit from the inside, not the outside. So it hurt every time I used the restroom. Who takes care of them while you're going to school? My mom takes care of them. How is it being a young mother? Being a young mother is very difficult. It's not, it's not only unicorns and rainbows. It's not like I can just, they're not toys. I can't just, get tired of them and leave them alone. No, these are human beings. They do everything a human being does. So, I mean, it's very difficult. It's a big responsibility. Um, Next question is, what's one advice you give teen mothers who don't have their boyfriend or family to help with their kids? I feel like, I mean, it's hard sometimes, when I don't have my baby's father to help me take care of them. So I really can't imagine not having actually your baby's father there all the time. So what I can say is, um, be strong, stay patient, have some patience for your kids because I know it gets hard. I know that it's a tough road. And I mean, right now, just stay focused on your kids, stay focused on being there for your kids because at least you have to think positive. At least you are not missing any moments with your child. You are there for their first step, you're there for their first teeth, for their first word, and that's what matters the most. That's what they're mainly going to ask you in the future is, Mom, how old was I when I took my first step? Or how old was I when, when I got my first haircut and stuff like that. So I feel like just be happy, stay focused on your child, and stay positive. Mostly stay positive because. Are you done? So, yeah, just stay strong. Um, any advice on how to deal with difficult things such as drama, boys, family fights, etc.? Well, to be honest, I don't like to deal with drama. I'm not the type of drama person that likes to have drama. I like to get along with everyone. I don't like having problems. So I feel like just, act your age, be mature, show others um, how, just give them that vibe, that mature vibe, so that they learn how to be mature and not start drama because one way or another they're going to realize that they're living for drama and they're not going to get nothing out of it. So yeah, that's what I can say. Are you What's the most funny thing that happened to you as a mom? The funniest thing that's happened to me as a mom is when let's say when I'm cleaning the dishes, these kids, stop it, stop, the cabinets, they'll get into the cereal, they'll get into the food, and they'll start throwing everything down. And it's so like it's a terrifying view because then I'm over here trying to do the dishes and then they're over here doing their own thing and then now I'm stuck having to pause the dishes just so I can clean the mess they just did. So I feel like that's a funny thing too. And another thing is my daughter, she likes to get into my makeup and she likes to put the makeup on Joseph. So I feel like that's a funny thing because she tries to do what she sees me do, like with my makeup, and she tries to do it on Joseph. So I feel like that's really funny, but she knows already. I told her not to do that because that's not right. He's a boy, so he should. So he like plays with his cars and stuff. So yeah, I feel like that's the funniest thing that's happened to me as a mom. And also, they also got into the cake icing, and she was putting it all over Joseph. He was putting it all over himself, and it was a big mess, but I couldn't help but start laughing because he was full of cake icing, and I thought that was funny. But he showered right after. They both showered. How did you decide on their names? I decided on Marilyn's name because of Marilyn Monroe. I'm just so obsessed with her. So right off the bat, I was like, Marilyn. If she's a girl, she's gonna be named Marilyn. And as you guys can tell, it is really hard. Just having to take a video right now. These babies are everywhere. Like, they will not stay on one spot. That's how all kids are, and that's what you're gonna have to deal with if you're a mom. I was going to name him Alexander because I love that name. But my mom likes Joseph. She liked the name Joseph, and my mom has always been there for me. She's always helped me out. So I decided to just name him Joseph, just the way that she liked. So yeah, that's how I decided his name. That's why I decided his name. And did you lose weight after both babies? No, how did you lose weight after both babies? Actually, I did not gain any weight with both of my pregnancies. The only weight I gained was because of the water bag and because of her. And the same thing with Joseph. Like, it was all their weight only. Right after I delivered, like, let's say 2 weeks later, I was back to my normal weight, and that is 100 pounds. I will not go over 103. Like, never. Like, I've always been 100 or 103 or 99. Um, how was postpartum after you had your first baby, and how did you deal with it? With her, I also ripped. So, I mean, I was in pain for like 1 whole month, and I got stitches too. So I was mostly in pain, and being in pain and having to deal with the baby is just horrible. So that's another reason why, I would stress out a lot. I would really happy. Mm, I knew it was going to be hard, but I was just ready for it because I decided to, um, take responsibility for my actions. What is a crazy habit your kids have? A crazy habit that Marilyn has is she always gets into my makeup, and that gets me very mad because she likes to destroy it and do all those things with it. So that's her bad habit. She loves to go into my makeup. Oh yeah, he loves to get into the cabinets, and he likes to throw out all the dishes and all that stuff. So my question is, you didn't have birth control after you had your first baby, like the pill, IUD, etc. I was trying the pills actually, but the pills I'm not used, like, I was just not used to taking pills every day, so I kept missing them. Dealing with school, I was dealing with a lot of things at the time, so I would forget to take my pills sometimes, and so the pill just never worked out. And after having your first, how different did your second pregnancy feel? Joseph, I did not throw up as much as I did with Marilyn. I wasn't as nauseous with Joseph. I only threw up, like, let's say 3 times into my pregnancy with Joseph. Marilyn, I threw up every day for the first 3 months. And then after the 3 months passed, I didn't throw up as much. Did you have fear of not being able to feel as much love as you did for your first? I've heard women get depressed about that while pregnant with their second. So when I found out that Joseph was a boy, I was kind of upset because, the whole being a teen mom and not having any money, because I am a teen mom. So I'm not financially stable. I wasn't financially stable. So I was really upset up until I had him. That's when I felt like all the love I had to, that I was missing from my pregnancy. Other than that, I was really happy for my baby. I love my son. He's the best thing that's happened to me. My daughter's the best thing that's happened to me, so I'm good. Next question is, how did you tell your parents you were pregnant again at such a young age? Well, it all happened because I was living with my baby's father at the time, and my mother-in-law found out that I was pregnant because no one knew at the time. My mother-in-law found out I was pregnant, so I mean, I told my mom that that that's when I told my mom that I didn't know if I was pregnant or not. So she took me to go get a pregnancy test, and that's when I told her that, like, she told me, like, are you sure you're not pregnant? And I knew I was pregnant, but I just felt really scared to tell my mom. So I told her, like, I don't know, I don't know if I'm pregnant, because I mean, I was 16 years old, I think, and you know, having to tell my mom, I'm pregnant again, like I feel like I felt just so worthless. I felt so, I just felt like I let her down really bad. I felt like I let everyone down. So, um, I my mom bought me a pregnancy test, and I took it, and I didn't know how to give it to her, so I slid it under the bathroom door, and my sister picked it up and she showed my mom, and my mom, she just, like, she got out of the house and she started crying. So that's how my mom found out, and my mom told my stepdad. So, like, usually it's harder. Like, for me, it's harder to tell my mom because she is my mom, and my stepdad is more like the calm person. So I wasn't worried about what my stepdad was going to, say, because he's always pretty calm. He won't tell me anything bad. So, but my mom, she doesn't tell me anything bad, but like, I'm just really scared to tell her face to face, because um she is my mom, and it's, difficult. So that's how I told him that I was pregnant again. Do you ever want to have any more babies? Well, to be honest, I do not want any more babies at all, because I feel like it's a lot of work. But I don't know if I want some more in the future, like in 10 years. Most likely it's a no, because they're already going to be like 10, 12 years old, and I'm not going to want to start all over. So I don't know if I want to have any more babies in the future. But for now, I do not want any babies at all. And yes, I do have my birth control. I got the next plan on right here. So, yeah. And that one lasts for 3 years. And after the 3 years pass, I'm going to get it again. So, yeah. What's your favorite thing to do with your kids? My favorite thing to do with my kids is I like to lay down with them in the night. We like to watch movies together. We like to go outside. She has my sister, her aunt, she bought her a Hello Kitty car. So in the mornings we like to go outside, and we like to, let her ride her little Hello Kitty car, and while me and Joseph just walk. So that's what we like to do together. That's what I like to do with my kids. How do you Next question is, do you regret getting pregnant at such an early age? By the way, you're so beautiful. Thank you so much. And do I regret getting pregnant at an early age? Um, I don't regret it, because I was headed down the wrong road before I had my first child. So I honestly am really thankful that God sent me my daughter, because if it weren't for her, I probably would have, been going down the wrong road. So my babies have taught me a lot. My babies have gave me a lot of strength. They have made me the person that I am today, focused in school, focused on them, focusing on the good things that come with life. Next question is, where are you from? Well, me, well, I don't know what you mean by where am I from, but where I was born in El Paso, Texas. That's where I was born, but I moved from there. So yeah. How old are your kids? I already said that. She's 2 years old. Sorry, and he's 1 years old. What is your favorite quote? My favorite quote has to be. Well, this is not a quote, but it's, like, it means a lot to me, because it's something that I used to tell myself every single day when I was battling depression. Um, it's stay strong. That is just, honestly, I love those two words. They mean so much to me, because that's what helped also to give me strength when I was battling depression. So, yeah. What's the most greatest adventure you've done with your babies? I feel like the best part about being a mom is really beautiful. It's like the best part of the pregnancy, because like that's when you know your baby's going to be born. That's when you know, like, all the pain that you went through was worth it. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how scary is labor? For me, it's only like a 4. What's the best part about being a mom? Best part about being a mom is that I get to, when I was pregnant, I got to feel my babies move, and when they were born, it was love at first sight. We went to Aquarium of the Pacific, and they were feeling the fishes. They were seeing the fishes. They were so amazed by the fishes and the jellyfish and all of that. So, I mean, that was a really nice adventure with my kids. They loved it. I loved it. And yeah, that's the best adventure I've had with my kids. Do you have any advice for girls who want to have kids in the future? Any advice is, I feel like if you are going to get pregnant, before you get pregnant, make sure to take prenatal pills before you plan on getting pregnant, and make sure you are ready for dealing with stress, anxiety, sadness, happiness, excite being excited, all of those emotions all at once, because it's going to happen, especially when you're pregnant. You're going to cry over the silliest things, you're going to be happy, you're going to be mad over the dumbest reasons. So because your hormones are going crazy, so you have to be ready for all of that. And when your kid comes, you have to be ready for waking up every 2 hours in the night. You have to be ready for changing pampers, um, and dealing with all of the, the stinkiness that comes with the baby. What are you doing? You're so weird. Okay, can you do a room tour? I'm not sure about doing a room tour, but this is my bed. If you guys want to know, we're on my bed right now because I couldn't find any other spot to film, so that one place where they can stay still. So I decided to film in my room in my bed. So, scale of 1 to 10, how scary is labor? Honestly, people make labor. Um, they make labor seem like it's some scary thing, like the scariest thing that's ever going to happen during your pregnancy. Labor isn't that scary. Sharing the most beautiful moments with my kids. What were your thoughts when you found out you were pregnant for the second time? I was scared. I was shocked. I was sad. I was like, I didn't know what to expect because me and my baby's father were going through a lot at the time. So I just didn't know what to expect. I was very emotional when I found out that I was pregnant for the second time. Um, what are some things you really believe in or keep reminding yourself of? um, Staying strong, because what we go through, we are going through for a reason, and it's either a blessing or it's either a lesson. So that's mostly what I believe and what I keep reminding myself. Um, what are some interesting habits or things they like to do, talents, quirks that your children have? Um, Joseph right now he's walking, so that's usually what he likes to do all day. Is try and walk and try to practice. Don't give this to brother, please, okay? Because these are really hard and he can choke. Um, so yeah, and Marilyn, I buy her little makeup sets because she loves to do makeup. I guess because she sees me doing my makeup, so she wants to do it too. So I buy her own makeup, and she loves it. How old are you? Right now, I am 17 years old. I'll be 18 years old in June 15 of this year. So yeah. Did you lose any friends when you found out you were pregnant? I didn't lose any friends when I found out I was pregnant, but throughout my pregnancy and having my kids now, I feel like I did lose some friends because most of the time I couldn't hang out with them because I had my kids, or maybe they were sick. Sometimes I just couldn't make it, and I feel like they would get mad, and I and they stopped talking to me. But to be honest, I really don't care because my kids come first. They're my priority and they're my responsibility. So, I mean, I feel like if they were truly my friends, they could have, waited for me not to be busy or made some plans another day. So, that's not my problem. So, yeah, I did lose friends, but I really don't care because they were not true friends. Is there anything you would change about your pregnancies? Different time, two boys, two girls instead of one boy and one girl, different age. No, I'm happy with my boy and my little girl because I already have my pair. So yeah. What is your favorite thing to do with each of them, as in their hobbies that they like to do with you or that you like to go with them? With Marilyn, I like to do her makeup because she always tells me, "Oh, mommy, do my makeup," or "Mommy, can I do your makeup?" So that's what me and Marilyn like to do together. Joseph, I like to practice walking with him. That's mainly what I like to do with Joseph. Since right now that he is walking, I like to practice with him. Or also in their shower, when they're in the shower, I like to buy them like little crayons for the shower, or those little tablets that go inside the water to change the water color. That's what we like to do in the shower, or I like to put bubbles in their shower. So that's what we like to do. Um, do you are you gonna get into a relationship or any plans of getting married? Um, right now, I honestly don't know. I mean, me and my baby's father, we want to get married, but we still don't know when. So I don't know when we're gonna get married. So yeah. What do you feel about being a YouTuber, and was it hard becoming one? To be honest, no, it was not hard being a YouTuber. It was not hard for me. It was something that I wanted to do, not be, to share my story and not to influence people to be a teen mom, but to prevent people and show them the reality of being a teen mom, because it is something big. And I mean, there is a lot more of teen moms coming now than how it was, back in the day. So like it's pretty crazy, and I feel like these girls have to get warned about, the reality of being a teen mom, because it's not a joke, and it's definitely not, they're definitely like not toys that you can play with and just leave when you get tired of them. So, yeah. I feel like I am happy being a YouTuber, and even though sometimes I can't make as much videos because I do have my kids, but I still try. So, yeah, I feel happy being a YouTuber. Next question is to yours. I've seen some parents take responsibility for their actions and do whatever they can do to raise their children well. Um, but my sister lets him do whatever he wants. I'm afraid that he'll become someone who no one wants to be around because of his bad behavior. Please help. Any advice? Um, well, with me, with my kids, they're not violent, but they can be annoying sometimes. They can misbehave. Like sometimes when I'm at the store and I'm trying to shop with my friends, or we're shopping, Joseph, he's on his stroller and he'll try to stand up and he'll try to do different things, or he'll start yelling, he'll start grabbing all the things, and that gets me very, very angry. So what I tend to do is I tell him stop, and if he doesn't stop, then I'll give him a little spanking, and that's what usually calms him down and lets him know that I'm angry and he needs to stop his behavior. And that's exactly the same thing that I do with Marilyn. Sometimes you have to show them, you it's not okay to spank them all the time, and spank them and spank them and spank them every time they do something bad, but you need to tell them that it's not right, that they shouldn't be doing that. But if they keep on doing it and ignoring you, then that's when you have to put a stop to it and let them know that it's not, that if you say no, then it's a no. So I feel like you should tell your nephew, no, like stop doing that, it's not right. Like let him know if your sister's not going to show him what what to do or what he shouldn't do, then I feel like you should, if you feel comfortable with it, tell him no, don't be doing that. And later on he's gonna thank you for doing that, because he won't turn out as his bad kid with everyone. And yes, I mean, like with me, if I see like a lot of kids misbehave like around me, I get angry sometimes, but I tell them like no, like don't do that. Like let's say if they're my family, that's the only time I'll tell them like no, don't do that. But if they're not my kids, and let's say they're doing something to my kids or they're doing something to me, then I'll tell them, I'm like, hey, you know what, like your son or your daughter is doing this, and I don't appreciate that. So if they don't put a stop to it, then I'll just leave, or the last thing I want to do is like make an argument in front of kids. So like I'd rather just be the big person and just leave. So I feel like just tell your nephew no, not yell at him, but let him know like no, that's not right. Tell him, and if he's not listening, tell his mom, and if his mom doesn't do anything about it, then just let it be and just go somewhere else. Just do what you have to do. Um, I forgot to mention you have such a beautiful heart. Stay strong. Oh, that means so much to me. I love you so much for saying that. Um, and how do you deal with hate? To be honest, I don't deal with hate at all because I honestly don't care what people have to say because I am doing what I have to do and I'm taking care of my kids at the end of the day. They're not paying for my Pampers, they're not paying for anything. So I don't deal with hate. I just stay focused on what I am focused on my goals, on my dreams. And I really don't need any negativity in my life, and I don't need to pay any mind to it either. So, yeah. Do you ever think about your life without your kids? Um, Sometimes, yes, I do think about life without my kids because when I don't have my kids, like when let's say they're both with their dad, I feel so bored. Like I feel like I have nothing to do. I feel like I feel like I'm a normal teenager, and that bothers me because I feel so bored, and I just don't know what to do with myself. I start feeling anxious. I start feeling frustrated. I start feeling, like I don't know. I start getting anxiety really bad because I'm used to doing something for my kids or with my kids. So, yeah, that's what I I just feel like my life would be so boring without my kids. And that is all the questions that I have to answer. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And if you guys have any video recommendations or any video you guys want to see, then just let me know. And so yeah, say bye, kisses, mwah, mwah, bye. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys. Bye. Mwah. Bye.